Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see what is left join in SQL. In the previous video, we saw what is inner join and we saw that in inner join, we only retrieve values for data that is common in both the tables and the data that is not common in both the tables is neglected. So what is left outer join? In left join, all the data that is in the left table is kept regardless of whether there is a matching data in the table that is on the right, and all the values of the table that is on the right is retrieved based on the matching ID. So for example, we have this table department and we have a table salary, and we are comparing both the tables depending on their IDs. These are the employee name, IDs, department, and the employee salary. So all the data that is in the department table will be selected. So all the data that is in the left table, that is the department table, will be present in our resulting table, and only the matching data that is on the right hand side table will be retrieved in the resulting table. Now, now it seems simple and it is simple, but I have two questions. What happens if there are two entries for the matching ID? For example, for this employee Ajay, whose ID is 2, there are two entries for ID number 2, one with salary of 50,000 and the second with a salary of 30,000. So what will happen? Will we only get the first match, or will we get two rows for both the matches? Now the second question is, what happens when we have a null? So here we have a null, that is the ID is not present for Rohit, and we also have null values over here for IDs. So will the null values get matched in left join? So let's see that. So in SQL, first I'll run both the tables and show you that we have similar data over here. So this is the first table department, and we have the same data, name, ID, department, and then we have the second table, that is salary. Now let's execute it, and we have the same data with the ID and the salaries. Okay. Now let's create the query for the left join. So the query is select what all do we have in department. So we have name, ID, and department. So select first I'll write the department table name so that it becomes easier for me to select the column names. And I'll say name, comma, then I will say department dot EID, and then I'll say, now why did I say department dot EID? The reason is that the ID column is common in both the tables. So SQL will question me which ID I am referring to. So to tell the SQL that I am referring to the ID of the department table, so I have mentioned depart. So I have mentioned department dot EID. Okay. So this is something I'm looking for from the first table. Then I say left join second table, and from the second table I just want their salary, so I say e salary. Now on what column to perform the join? So on department dot EID equal to e salary dot, sorry, not e salary, it's salary dot EID. So this is my question. If you have seen my previous video on inner join, then you must have seen that the query is exactly the same except for this addition keyword left. Otherwise, it is completely same. Now I'll execute it. Okay, now let's see the result. So I'll open my Excel on one side so that it is easier. So my first row of data says Abhishek, whose ID is 1, department is HR, the salary is none. So that's right because we don't have a matching ID for 1. So that's why the salary is null. And now you can see that regardless of 1 being in my salary table, that is 1 was not present in my salary table, still I see this row in my resulting table because we are using a left join. In left join, we get all the rows regardless of their matching in the right hand side table in the resulting table. So I will see all my rows of the left table in my resulting table. Now let's go to Ajay because for Ajay we had a question, will we see the salary of 50,000 or will we see a salary of 30,000? And now here we see that we see both because there were two entries for you for ID 2. So now we have two rows of data for ID 2. We have first with a salary of 50,000 and second entry with a salary of 30,000. Okay, so this resolves our one more question. Now Bhanu was simple. Bhanu had just one row of data and we had a matching EID also in the salary table, but the salary was null, so that's why we see it as null. But this is coming through a match. This is not a missing value. Now let's move to our last entry, that is null for EID. What happens when we see null? So whenever we see null, it doesn't matches to the right hand side and it just says null. So we had null values over here, null and null with 40,000 and 60,000 salary, but the SQL server did not match it. Null are not compared in joins in SQL, so nulls are neglected. So that's why we see Rohit, whose ID is null, his salary is also null. We will not say that null over here can match to null over here. No, that is not true. So null is never matched with anything on the other table. So that's why a null was returned over here. I will create a video on right join as well, which is going to be my upcoming video. Till then, I hope you have a good time and let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts.